All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Hope you guys are doing all right tonight. So normally it takes a little bit for people to hop on, and once that gets started, once we get some people on, oh sweet, we already got a few. Cool. Then we will be rocking and rolling. So hello, and see in the chat you can do stuff like talk and howdy, howdy, howdy. All right, so let's see. Hope everything is working all right. My computer's like bugging out a little bit. My internet's been kind of wonky the last couple days, so I hope this is not an issue. I've moved over to my phone for a hotspot because I've been struggling, and now I'm a little worried. So everything seems fine in my Google Hangout, but my YouTube is struggling. Let's hope that this works. So, okay. So let me pull up some, so you don't have to see my face anymore. Put that on the screen so that you guys can look at that a little bit better. Yeah, so right now my the thing I use to view my second window is like struggling through this. Let's see. It's desperately trying to keep up with what I'm asking it to do. It's having trouble with that. Okay. Yeah, sorry guys. I got started on this pretty early today, trying to make sure that this was working, and it's going a little slow. Okay. So right now my issue is I can't see any, like my screen is not showing anything on the side. So let me. Okay. Here we go. Maybe? All right. Okay. Okay, we're back. It's fine. Everything's fine. All right. What's up, everyone? Congrats, Deanna. I'm glad you were first on the stream. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Okay. All right. I'm up and rolling now. All my stuff's everything is up. Hello, Peyton. Welcome back. You just couldn't get enough, huh? You got to come back for round 2. Hey, Psych Club should be happening. They've put in all the paperwork to do it. I don't know what the slowdown has been. I've signed off on it. So yeah, I'm not sure. Crystal, you want to see the slide after the bell curve? Yeah, I can bring that up. I can bring that up for you. Give me a second. Let me pull that up. Are you wanting the one? Are you wanting the one with the skews? Is that the one that you're looking for, Crystal? I can show you that. Let me see if that's. I'll stop that. Now you get to see me as I switch over. Okay. Check that one. Is that the one you're looking for? They're going to do great. They're going to do great. They're fantastic. Okay, so normally format-wise, guys, basically, if you have questions, you can just throw them at me. Yeah, I can give you the Savage Shifter. Who are you? I will definitely tell you the definition of statistics. Yeah, if you guys can put your actual names on here. So if you have like a name like Savage Shifter, I don't know who you are. So if you can like change your name. Zaha, this should be like cool. It's like, dang. What's up, Ravish? Okay, Ravish, you're Wolf Brian. I Ravish, I'm not going to remember that. Elaney, your name is on there. Your name, your little name thing is on there, so you're fine. So no, it's just like this is like cool. I mean, just think of it like you get to hang out with Mr. Monk when he's at home with instead of hanging out with my friends. I'm with you guys. It's great. It's awesome. All my friends. Okay. Okay. So normally, a duck. I don't know who you are. So yeah. Thank you, Sama. I appreciate that. That's don't get started. I'll start crying. Bill Ponte is a Bina. Okay, I'm gonna forget this. Yes. Okay. Sorry. Let me come back. I'll go back to that. Sorry. Yes, I will. I will define statistics. So here we got our dictionary definition up here. Um, our definition of statistics, and it is exactly what you would think of. It's how we get information and our numbers, and the reason why. I mean, the reason why this is even a section in psychology, and the reason we have to talk about it is just this idea that so much of doing research in psychology is crunching numbers. And so it's kind of one of those things that when you go to college, you have an entire semester on research methods, and it's just talking about statistics and how they work. And it's a rough class, but they're imperative to the way in which we move forward and look at um, all of these all this research and stuff. So yep. So your dad's watching this. Cool. I mean, I hope he learned something about it. Learned something about psychology. So yep. I dare you to cry. Don't do it, Alexa. It'll happen. You're all right. Cool. Hello, Rom's mother. I'm glad you guys are on the stream. So most of the time you'll just be looking at these things. Can we try slide 16? Why do we want to specifically look at slide 16? Okay, thank you, Abina. I appreciate that. That just helps me know who's talking to me. Why do you want to see slide 16? Slide 16. Slide 16 are pie charts. If you don't know what pie charts are, you know, this is just life is going to be a struggle. So no. Oh, that's not the one? Oh, which one? That's the one you wanted to. Oh, I see what you're talking about. It's the one with the positive and negative skews. Okay. Well, let me talk about the positive and negative skews again. So, I think this is the one that you're talking about. Yeah. Okay. So, um okay, so just remember guys, when we are looking at these curves and we're looking at these populations, just remember I can go over the FRQ if you guys need me to. Just remember when we are looking at these curves, we're simply it's as it says, these are hypothetical. This normal bell curve, or the normal curve, or the normal distribution, that is just a it's like the hypothetical, like this is how, like if statistics and numbers and random generation was all supposed to be the way it was supposed to be, this is what it would look like. But oftentimes they are not that way, and so you have the bulging of your population might be a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right, and so those are you're looking at the positive and negative skews. Positive skews, just remember, you're interested in where the tail is. The tail is going to tell you whether or not it's positive or negative. So if it's a positive, if the tail is in the positive end, it's positive skew. If it's on the negative side, it's a negative skew. Okay. So Gia, yeah, I'm gonna go over the FRQ later. I'll kind of like hold off on that. What's up, Nabil? I'm gonna hold off on the FRQ. So I'm gonna go over the FRQs again, probably around like 8:30 or something, maybe 8:35. So I will get back to that, I promise. Okay, so Are we supposed to memorize the vocabulary on Schoology? Yes. But Sakina, if you're like looking at that, recognize that most of like we've covered basically all of that except for a few things. Yep. Yep. Let's go down to Crystal. Can you give me a thumbs up if you're good with this bell curve stuff? I just want to make sure that you know uh, what like that you're comfortable with that. If you need me to explain anything else. Okay. So otherwise, let's go to correlations. Okay, correlation coefficient. Okay, so when we are talking about correlation coefficients, when we're talking about correlations, so what, let's see, like what, so like we, when we are looking at these relationships between these items, this PowerPoint is not on Schoology, Krista, but if you go to the notes section, if you go there and pull up the notes, it's all there. It's just not in PowerPoint form. It's in like note form. And I'm at home, so I don't have my school computer, so I don't have that. It's in Schoology, and schools. Well, let's see if Schoology is going to work for me right now. It's been not been nice to me recently, so I was able to I had to put the thing up on my phone, but it's up there. It's there for you to use. Okay, so we are looking at that relationship between those two variables. And so what we are trying to find is whether or not there is some type of relationship between those two things. Do those things correlate? Because remember, we were talking about correlation does not always imply causation. However, sometimes it does. And so the correlation coefficient is looking at that relationship. Okay. Oops. So the correlation coefficient is looking at that specific relationship and trying to explain to us, Nabil, if there's no tail, then it's a normal curve. Then Nabil, I'm never going to give you like a curve that's like kind of a little bit to one side. You're gonna know which side. So yes, yeah. So Nabil, yeah, exactly. The murder and ice cream situation. Okay, and so when we're looking at this correlation and we're looking at these numbers, so basically what's going to end up happening is you put all of your data, because remember when we're looking at this correlational research method, we are just looking at data. And so you have these big computers that take all of this information and they crunch it into numbers and you create all these graphs and stuff like that. And so what often ends up happening is you get this number, okay? And this number is between +1 and -1, okay? The number is between +1 and -1. And the closer it gets to +1 or -1, the stronger the correlation, whether that be positive or negative. Okay, so if you have and once again, let's just talk about murder and ice cream. Okay, the murder rates and ice cream scales. And so what you take all those numbers, you put it in, and what you're going to get is you're going to get this number, and you're going to see like where how big or how little this number is. And the closer it is to +1, the greater the positive correlation, the stronger that correlation. And the closer it gets to -1, once again, the closer that negative correlation. Now when it gets to 0, that means there's no correlation. So if we were to talk about ice cream and murder rates, the correlation would probably be pretty close to 0, because while there is some, while we are talking about the summer heat, we're not talking about, or we're not looking at one causing the other thing. So that's what the correlation coefficient is talking about. So once again, and this will definitely come up on your quiz or on your test, you need to be able to recognize, okay, I've been given a specific number, and is that like a high Is that like a high positive correlation or strong? So use the word strong. Is that a strong positive or is that a strong negative or is that kind of a no correlation type thing? Okay. So if that makes sense, let me know. And if that's still kind of like hazy for you, holla, holla. Okay. So let me go back. I've got a couple people that have asked some questions. Okay. So yeah, Abina, can you just let me know if that makes sense for you? Um, and yeah, let me do inferential statistics real quick. While I'm sorry, I didn't get to that. I didn't see that question just yet. So okay, so inferential statistics. So descriptive statistics is just talking about the numbers and whatnot. Um, Salma, 0.5 correlation would be like kind of in the middle. It would be like a lukewarm water. It's not high. It's not low. It's just kind of it's not a lot. Yes, yes, Abina, that is correct. Yeah, it has no. There's no correlation. Yeah, it looks like it, but it's not. Okay, so let's go. Let's talk about inferential statistics, guys. Okay, so all that ends up happening with inferential statistics is this is the stuff that gets applied. So descriptive statistics is all just like about the little numbers and stuff like that. Inferential statistics is the stuff that you take those numbers and then you find a way to apply it somewhere else. You apply it to the real world. So inferential statistics, inference. It's making a suggestion. It's saying something about the world outside. Something is happening out there. Okay, that's inferential statistics. Okay, so you taking um, info about um, AP exams. You get a bunch of scores about AP exams, and then taking that information and plugging it into how students are doing in other classes. That's inferential statistics. You're taking that information and you're applying it somewhere, and like applying it to real world stuff. Okay. Okay, that was Abina's question. Yeah, give me a second, guys. I got to catch up on some of these questions. On the quiz, Savage Shifter, I still don't know who you are. On the quiz, will the multiple choice be like definition? Probably. I mean, there might be one or two, but generally speaking, it's going to be like you need to know this type of stuff. It's all about application. You're going to see tons of application type questions. So, yeah, yep. What if the curve dips downward, like in the middle, and ends on the higher? So, Monica, good question. The what we did was with just the 40, with just the 40, what's it called? Dice rolls was not enough to get enough like real significant information, and so sometimes you will have those dips, and that doesn't mean that you're going to have like a dip in your population. Like you're not going to have your in your bell curve, you're not going to have a dip like that. It just might be like slanted farther off in another direction because of that dip. So like let's say you had 5 rolls at the number 7 and 5 rolls at the number 10. There's not going to be like a dip in the middle. It's just going to be slid over, and you're going to have that negative skew because the 10 is on your right hand side. And so you'll just have a skew that way. That's what it would look like. So, okay. So, all right. Okay. So, Insha, you want to know about standard deviation. Standard deviation. Okay. So, trying to. Where are we? Okay, so let's start with variance. Okay, so variance, as it says here, is a measure of how different scores are from each other. Just like it sounds, like variance, varying how different things are. That is all that variance is talking about. So there's like there's a formula to figuring out what that is, and the point of finding variance is, once again, you're just recognizing how spread apart your numbers are. And the reason why we want to find variance is very much so that we can find our standard deviation. Okay, so basically what is happening, and you don't need to worry about standard deviation too much now, because I want to wait for intelligent, like the next chapter, because we're going to spend more time talking about standard deviation. So I kind of just want to wait. I don't want to, like, you're not going to be like hard quizzed on this. Um, but like next week, we're going to dig into this again. Um, and so basically what standard deviation is doing is, let's get to a graph. I have a chart. Okay. So what standard deviation is doing, because see these numbers here, -1s, -2s, -3s, 1s, 2s, 3s. These are standard deviations. And so what it is showing us is this is how varied they are from the mean. So you have your mean here in the middle, and this is talking about how far away you are from the mean. It's basically just showing us, like, okay, we don't have just this one curve in this population. These groups are split and they are broken into sections. And so what you end up having is you have several different standard deviations. And what we're going to talk about next week with intelligence is this is broken up into 15s. So one standard deviation. So remember, we talked about, okay, what is the average intelligence? IQ score is 100. It's right here down in the center. And so when you get over to one standard deviation is 15 points. So you have 34% of your population is between 100 and the first standard deviation, which is 15, which in this case is 15. And so this just helps break up your groups and kind of help you figure out how far along you are. And so when you get to the point where you're at deviations or 4 or 5, you are getting to significantly small portions of your population. Very few people are in these groups. So that's standard deviation and variance. Okay. All right. Throw me some thumbs up or thumbs down if you're still not 100% sure about what I'm talking about. Give me just a second. Oh, I see a lot of people pointing to something. I'll get to it. Hold on. Will the multiple choice on the sorry, hold on. Will the multiple choice on the quiz be? Oh, you already asked that. All right, I got that. All things statistics. We can go. Oh, we'll cover all of that if you want me to. Of course. What is a positive and negative example? What is a positive? Ram, I don't know what you're talking about. What is a positive and negative on the examples in the slide? I'm not sure what you're saying. Ram, if you're still confused by this, I don't know what you're saying. What's the difference between negative and positive correlation? Oh, that's what you're talking about. Okay. Okay, cool. Let me go back. Let me go and talk about this. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, see, this is one of the problems. I can't, like, it's hard to have multiple screens. Sometimes I miss those. That's an important question. So, is that No. You will not need your calculator in order to be successful on this quiz. There won't be anything like that. Okay. So, okay. So here we go. So positive correlation. Okay. So when when something is positively correlated, that means that they are going in the same direction. When something goes up, the other thing is going to go up. So so when something has like that positive +1, like, did I say this earlier? I think I misspoke earlier when I was talking about the ice cream with the ice cream stuff. The correlation for the ice cream I'm so sorry, guys. I just like stumbled over something there. So when we're talking about those ice cream sales and murder rates, they do have a high correlation. Remember, because they do have a high positive correlation. Okay. And the reason for this is because like, as you could see, those two graphs are going up together. Okay, so they do have that high positive correlation. So their number would be up there at like 0.9 or 0.8 or something because they're following along this curve. So let me show you. Let me show you this other. Hold on. Um, I want to show you those graphs. Let me see if I can pull this up. So they have those graphs that I was kind of showing you the other day. I can show you the numbers on there because we didn't talk about like the actual numbers. Okay, yeah. So okay, well, here we go. Okay, let me transfer you over. I'm sorry for misspeaking earlier, guys. That was my bad. So okay, so let's go to this. Okay, and so what you can see here when we kind of zoom in on this one, we were talking about these like weird correlations or whatever. So this correlation, your R, is 0.99. And so what you're finding is that both of these things are kind of doing the same thing. And once again, they're correlated, but one doesn't cause the other. Okay. Now, on the flip effect, and I couldn't really find one that would be opposite. So let's say we could do you could do let's talk about ice cream again. So if we were looking at another graph where they were like, okay, ice cream sales and winter, well, those things are going to be polar. Those things are going to be totally opposite. So whenever ice cream sales go up, like the coldness will go down, like when it gets cold, there will be far fewer ice cream sales, and so that would show a negative correlation, and you can see that on um, this graph here, not graph, but you can see that like the inverse is going to happen, and so the ice cream sales and winter would have like a -8 or something, a -8 or -0.9, -0.8 or -0.9. So okay, okay, all right. Can you guys? Yes, there, Duck, whoever you are, there will be multiple choice on the quiz. There might be some ethics stuff. It's possible. No, you won't need to calculate anything. Yes, you need to memorize. No, no, no. Well, wait. Yeah, you need to memorize stuff. So an example of standard deviation would be on the statistical worksheet where we had to calculate a set. No, you won't need to calculate. Abina, you won't need to calculate anything. Um, you won't need your calculator for anything. Okay. Those that is like the standard deviation. Krista is talking about how far away you are from the mean. It's a way of measuring how far away you've gone from the mean. Yep, it's kind of both. It also does split up the data. What's up, cool man? I don't know who you are. Oh no, cool. Well, cool man. If you don't tell me who you are, I'm just gonna boot you out because I don't need you in here just talking. So if two lines are very close to each other on a graph, it would be yes, yes, yeah. There would be a high correlation because they're both kind of. What if both graphs are going down? Great question, Savage Shifter. If you don't tell me who you are, I'm just going to kick you off, even though you're having great questions. If they're both going down, it's still a positive correlation because they're still kind of doing the exact same thing. They're still moving in that same direction. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Monica is right. It is still positive. No, no, Crystal, you don't need to worry about that. No. We will. You'll need to know that for next week. Ravish, I thought you were something. I thought you were some Bob thing. I don't know. Okay. All right. Okay. So Yeah, Crystal. Yeah, don't worry about that till next time. Okay. Okay. So, oh, Wolf Brian. Ah, I see it now. Okay, but which Brian? I have more than one. We're talking about Hilton or Brian? That is the question. Okay. So, let's come back. What am I needing to explain? Oh, descriptive. Okay. Hello, Brian. Yes. All right. Got it. Okay. So, oh no, someone was asking about descriptive statistics. Okay. Give an example of descriptive statistics. Okay, I can do that. So, simply put, descriptive statistics. Once again, this is just us talking about like it's just the data. Like this is like everything we've done so far. All of the dice work that you were doing, that's all descriptive statistics. That's that's all the stuff. Like the vocabulary that we were talking about, like that definition, that's what's going on there. Okay, so that's the wrong. Yeah, that's it. Let's see if I can get. Yep. So yeah, I'll pull this up so you can kind of look at kind of the difference between these two. This is just data so that we can talk about what is happening in this information. Like you get a bunch of information and then you sort it out so that you can then have a discussion about it and understand what's going on. So okay, I hope that answers your question. Okay, Gia, is negative correlation just opposite? Yes, like they just do opposite things. Um, it would be like the more often you listen to I don't know, a terrible artist like who's that Canadian kid that oh no, um I was going to make fun of somebody, but okay, Nickelback. The more that you listen to Nickelback, the less likely you are to buy their CDs or something like that. The correlation is opposite. So the more you listen to this terrible band called Nickelback, the less like it, and then that goes up, and then the less likely you are to go buy their stuff because it's terrible. Actually, I don't mind Nickelback, but that's just the running joke. So. All right, Aaron, what happened? You said you've retracted a bunch of things. Yes. What is a line? Okay, wait. So, Ram, what is a line with a negative slope? Yes, thank you, Monica. Yeah, that's basically it. Okay, cool. All right. Um, in terms of correlation, nothing. What it could it's dependent on what the other one is doing. Um, it doesn't matter. Like if we're just talking about one line, it could mean anything. If we're talking about two lines, if we have two lines that are both going down, it's a positive correlation. If we have one line that's going down and another line that's going up, then it's negative. Yes, excellent, Salma. Yes, that is 100% correct. Doesn't matter which direction they're going. And you can see, like, if you go back and you kind of like look at the little arrows in the picture, that's what it's trying to explain. That's what it's trying to show is that if they're both going in the same direction. So both those lines or whatever. So, all right, cool. All right, sweet, 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 sweet. Good stuff, guys. Good questions. Do you guys want me to like just keep? Do you guys have more questions or? Dude, hey, no, that's half of it. Like, I last year, I had a student that was like, I would, um, I would get clogged up with like answering one question, take a while, and they answered questions for me. And so like some of the ones that they knew, they just answer it for them, and I'd be able to either skip it or just like go through it really quickly. So if you can answer a question and you're like sure about it, go for it. I'm like that's awesome because that helps me a lot too. Yep. Okay. So, oh, my back to my face. Oops. No one wants to see that. I thought I switched over to something else. Good thing I wasn't picking my nose. I'll do it on the stream. Maybe. Hopefully not. But it could happen. All right. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. I'm like catching up on this reading stuff. Okay. So thank you, Shelley. I will not forget that FRQ. Okay. An example of an illusory correlation. Okay. Illusory correlation. Remember, it's when there is a perceived when something is perceived, but it's not um, like there's a perceived relationship of what's going on, um, but no such relationship exists. Like okay, so think of like bad luck, um, like where okay, like something bad happens to you, or like something like is like happening again and again, and you might think that the reason you're having bad luck is because you did one of those like one of those you broke a mirror, or you walked under a ladder, or a black cat walked across in front of you, and so there's this belief that, oh, a black cat walked in front of me, and so for the rest of the day, like I tripped over my shoelace and I did this and that, and so, oh, there must those things are correlated, when in all honesty 100% that is not the reason why it's happening. So that's illusory correlation, and it's exactly what it says. It's a fake. It's just not exactly what's going on. How am I getting? Oh, Alvina, that's like high end math stuff where you're doing all sorts of like different um, like all sorts of different like math stuff. You don't have to worry about that. If you take psychology in college, if you pursue this at a higher level, you'll have to worry about it. But for now, you don't need to worry about it. So yeah, you're good. Um, no, yeah, with correlation coefficient, yeah, we're just not. That's like, no, yeah, we're not talking about that. We're not worried about the causation. So you're good. Okay, so I can pick my nose whenever I want to. Yeah. Thank you, Abina. Yeah, I was a little frustrated with the example that I used in class today. I like in my like when I was putting it together, like I was doing it and then I did it and I was like, oh, this is great, and then it went in class and I was like, yeah, that wasn't super great. Okay. Uh, yes. Yeah. Excellent, Nabil. Yeah, a person who like overthinks something, that like the world, yeah, the world is against me, or everyone hates me, or whatever, and it's like, no, you're doofus and you don't do some things. So yeah, Ram, just real simple. Causation is just reality. Like one actually made something else happen. I punch someone in the face and their face hurts, and then that's causation. One thing caused another. So yeah, don't overthink that. That's it is what it is. Okay, so Krista, you were asking how much time do we have for our FRQ and our quiz. So your quiz, you're going to get like 25, 30 minutes. Um, and you don't need that much time. You'll be fine. It's 20 questions, so it'll be easy. And then for your FRQ, tomorrow you're going to get like 15 minutes to do it. You don't need that much time. But I just like, and then we're going to like slowly like move it down to a point where you only have like 5 minutes to write an FRQ. But you'll have 15 minutes tomorrow. So, so that'll generally be how it goes. Like that will generally be how how the day goes, and we'll have all day or all period tomorrow to get this done. Okay, so I want to move on to FRQ. Let me make sure so it's illusory correlation, kind of like placebo effect. Yes. Yeah, because you could believe that the fake medicine or whatever is what saved it, but it's really just your brain kind of working stuff out. Yep. Can you reiterate what? Okay, so the dependent variable. Remember, that's the thing that is being measured. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yep. Remember, operational definition is just a empirical measure of a vague term, and so it is simply put taking some sort of taking your hypothesis, taking your independent or dependent variable, and making sure that you define it, or you write it in a way that someone can come behind you and actually write or actually redo your thing. So you're not saying that coffee makes you smarter. You're saying that the caffeine in coffee allows you or makes you score higher on an IQ test. That is something that is very definable, that is workable. Someone can come in and do that exact same study in a very easy way. Oh no, Crystal, why won't let you make a Quizlet? Oh, way to go, girl. Good for you. Quizlet! Everyone give Crystal hype. I don't know how you do that. Hype. Hype train for Crystal. Woo! I don't know how you do that. Are there emojis? Do I have Oh, I have emojis. Medical hat, rhinoceros, and sushi. Bam. Yeah. No way. Hype train. No way. That's gonna be our new thing. We're gonna give medical hat or medical helmet, or what is it, like medical helmets, rhinoceros, and sushi. This is literally the greatest compliment you could ever get. Yep. Ooh, train, hype train, Aaron, clutch, yes. Where did you find a train? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I can't find the train. Where is it? Yes. Oh, there's so many different types of trains. You picked the best train, obviously, but you could do like bullet train. Oh, there's bullet trains. All right, hype train, boys and girls. Throw Crystal some trains. Oh no, that's a bus. Don't put a bus in there. Yeah. All right, cool. Okay. So, okay. So, can I explain it in baby words? What? Okay. Baby words. Okay. Let's go back. Oh, where are you finding that old train? There it is. I got it. Okay, I found the old train. Okay, I'm good now. Okay, I just had to put that up there. Nabil, there's gonna be no like acids and like all of those were just like examples of the ethics. And so yeah, there won't be any elephants with acid or whatever. So okay, I'll get to the FRQ on my own time. I'll do it in just a second. Hold on. Let me go back to Zaha. Did I explain operational definition in a way that you understood it? Just this idea that you have to take that info and make it measurable. You have to make it so that someone can line things up and do exactly they like whatever study you did. You have to be able you have to get other people to do the exact same thing. So let me know if that's still troubling you. Okay, so let's talk about the FRQ. Let's get serial. We're gonna get real serial here. Okay, so what do you guys want to know? What do you guys want to talk about with the FRQ? Do you want to talk about like and by the way, Ravish, don't ask how many lines you should have in your FRQ. It's a very silly question. So, are you wanting to know, like, what do you guys want to know? Like, do you want to talk about ethics, or do you want to talk about like the formatting and how you want to do it? What do you guys want to? What are we talking about here? Yes. Exactly, Zaha. That is the entire reason why we did the Lego instructions, is so that you can't just be like, okay, we'll put this block on top of the other brown block or whatever. You have to like boom, make it understandable. Okay, sure. Okay. So let's start with formatting. So once again, the first thing that is happening is you are creating a you're doing one of two things, or you're doing both. Okay. Yeah, we can. Yeah, I'll put something, Karis. I'll put something up for you. Um, yes. Whoever you are, Cookie Crumble. Yes. If there are multiple words or multiple things, you're gonna have to do all of it. Okay. So remember, first things first, you want to define whatever term there is, and there will be a specific term that you need to have for this. So first things first, you're going to define it. Generally speaking, that's going to be either, I prefer two sentences. If you can do it, if it's a snappy one, you can do it in one. But generally speaking, you need to make sure that you are showing that you know exactly what's going on. So two sentences to define whatever that term is. And then second, you need to define it. So you'll spend, not define it, I'm sorry, apply it. So you have your situation up here, and then you're going to define that thing. So let me pull up. Oh, I have this. Okay. Is this what we were doing? Okay. Um. Okay. I'm trying to. I got to move this over to this other thing so we can look at this. Okay. So let me kind of break this down so you can see this properly. I gotta wait for my face to go away. Yep. Okay. So the FRQ that I'm pulling up now, this is the FRQ that we did for this quiz last year. So this is, you're going to get something that is very similar, but this is what we pulled up. This is what I had them do last year. Okay, so um, okay, let me. Oh, this is not. Okay. So uh, basically what they needed to do, and I'm going to erase this. I was just kind of showing them the full, like all the stuff that would be on it. Like a normal FRQ, you would have all these other things that you'd have to worry about. Blah 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 blah. Okay. So what the idea here was that you were to first. This is really asking you to do two things. So first, you need to, once again, you need to identify. So the first thing you need to do is you need to identify what um, ethical issue is going on here. Okay, so that was kind of the first thing, and then once you have identified it, you need to define it. Why is this doing this? Whatever. Okay, and so this one is, and you'll have to get used to this. Sometimes it kind of like flips itself around a little bit. And the reason why I want you to always define something, because normally the way that this question is set up is it should look like this, is where you would apply it first and then you would define what is going on. And because that's the way that this question is set up. Discuss an ethical issue raised by the design of this study. So you're supposed to look through this study and then identify that issue. And so that would look like you would apply it. So you'd be like, okay, well, in this study, this is going on. And so this is the ethical concern or whatnot. But here, I still want you to flip the script. I still want you to define the concept first. Okay. You're gonna have to look through here and you'd have to find what was going on. Okay. And in this particular instance, the thing that I wanted them to catch on was this section right here. So in the alone condition, each of the 5 participants was asked to wait alone in a room. The room was then locked. Let me just make sure. Okay. Yeah. So the room, you guys can read that fine. Okay, good. Okay. So the room was then locked and the participant was unable to leave until the experiment was over. Okay. Once again, like we went over this like earlier. So, but in our warm up, I think. So you have the issue here, and that is the issue that the person that is in the experiment needs to be allowed to leave whenever they want. They need to be able to be like, I'm done with this mess. This isn't cool. I'm not having fun anymore. This is like this is scary. Okay, so here you go. Your freedom to withdraw. So your first thing should be this. Now I just copy and pasted the definition from the thing. But if you in BT dubs, if you copy and paste exactly what like the definition that I've given, that's perfectly fine. I have no issue with that. That's great. Like if you can remember that down pat, perfect. Okay? That is fine. You don't need to like send me flowery words or say all this like fancy stuff to try to get in. Thank you, Misbah. I miss having you. You're awesome. So, so you don't need that. You just tell me exactly what it is. And so once again, we're defining this thing first. We're saying the freedom to withdraw research at any time, and you could say this in one sentence. Like this whole back end, you don't need. All human subjects must have the right to end their participation in research for any reason, at any time, for any reason. Okay, and then what you would do is your next sentence. So you wouldn't have another space. You would go, okay, so in this experiment, the participants were locked in the room, and so it seems that they weren't able to leave or something like that. They were not allowed to leave in any experiment with humans, with human participants. They must be able to leave at any time, and then you can kind of just like go back and just like they must be able to leave the research at any time, at any place, or for any reason, or whatever like that. Okay, that's what you would say. This right here, that's it. Boom, you're done. You did that in 3 sentences. You might want to add a little bit of fluff, and I know this is kind of like just together, but this is it, guys. This is exactly like if you are able to break this down into everything that I'm talking about, that's all I need. Like if you could get this done in 2 sentences and you have told me everything and you have clearly and concisely talked about all the stuff that is important, kudos. I'm still going to give you 100. There's not a sentence quota that you need to hit. Okay, Zaha. Your question is will you give us the word? Yeah. You're gonna like so. Let me show you an FRQ. Let me show you another FRQ. So this one is a little bit different, and looking back on it, maybe this isn't the first thing to jump in on, or this just makes this a little bit trickier. Okay, I don't want to do that one. Which one do I want to do? Let me. I'm just pulling up another. Okay. Okay. So another just look at another FRQ. You won't have this one, but for each of the terms or pairs, explain how the placement or oh no, I didn't do that one. What did I do? Oh no, I didn't do this one. What did I say? The gym teacher, Mrs. Cobb, blew her whistle, and the entire cafeteria students quieted and turned their attention to Mrs. Cobb. Oh no. Okay. Oops. Sorry, guys. That's not. That's one I tossed out. I didn't show that one. Okay. This should not take me this long. Sorry, I'm not on my computer. I'm on my computer at home, and so it doesn't. Not all this stuff is like up to date. Oh, I think this is good. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let me give you another example of what these would look like, and what you will often see. Okay, so you can take a look at this one. Um, this would be another example of what we're of like a quiz or whatever. So Aaron, what are you saying? I think the word you define is in the prompt. Oh, yes. Okay. So this one is a little bit different because I want you to look for the specific word. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm tracking with you guys. Very often it won't be that. This one's just a little bit different because I want you to kind of dig and really like figure out what the problem is. I'm just making you work a little bit harder for it. But oftentimes it will just be this where I give you a situation and then you just like it'll be different for each class. So this is how I would like break it up in a class. Like one class talks about observational learning, another class talks about the token economy. It's just dependent. So that's how I kind of make it different for. So like each class, like just to let you guys know, each of your classes will have a different FRQ. So yeah. Yes. No, Iman. Remember, look. I've got in um in this answer here, I have the freedom to withdraw at any time the research. All human subjects must have the right to blah 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 blah. That's your dictionary definition of the freedom to withdraw. That's an explanation of exactly what freedom to withdraw is. So you definitely need to have that in there, and that's there. That's your dictionary definition. I then applied it. That it was only afterwards. Ooh, I think I did the wrong. I screenshot the wrong thing. It was only after I had defined it that I applied it to the situation. Does that make sense? So I did that here with this first sentence. And then I was like, in this experiment right here. And then this is when I started to apply it. Is that okay? Okay. Yes, you have to. Abina, when we're talking about applying, if you start talking about other random mumbo jumbo or some other story or whatever, it's going to be wrong. Like you don't get credit. You have to apply. Applying is pointing back to the scenario that you've been put into, and that's what you're doing. Yes. Yes, Shelley. Good. Okay, Abina, good. Good. If there is no word to define, then you don't need to define anything. But if you give an answer, you should explain it. Uh, no, James. Like, no, because you have been asked to find the ethical guideline. And so, yes, this isn't like a one term thing, but there is a guideline that you need to know about. What is that guideline? You can't just say that this broke the rules because they weren't allowed to leave. You have to be able to recognize that there is a specific clause within the ethics guidelines that says you must be able to withdraw. So in this situation, and I know it's like a little bit confusing because I'm not like having you do a dictionary definition, but bear with me. This is important. Like there is a specific rule that has to be followed, and so we're gonna use that. Like, and so you need to define what that rule is. Like you're literally looking for the law and applying that law, if that makes sense. So don't get too hung up on it. Yeah. So okay. Okay. So are there any other questions? Do you guys have other stuff that you need to ask? So during the actual OP exam, you say it's best to define then apply. Yes, every time. Yeah. Yep. And once again, Shelly, and the reason for that is you just have these people that are just doggone tired. They're so sick and tired of reading these stupid things. And I'm gonna have you like underline stuff, and when they see things underlined and it's properly defined and all that, like it just makes it so much easier to grade. When everything is exactly like is laid out exactly where it needs to be. Yeah. Uh, Salma, you will not need to know the animal guidelines for the FRQ. The animal guidelines are fair game for the quiz. Everything we've talked about is fair game for the quiz. Okay. If the story were to say that a person was locked in a room and tested to see how long it would take for them to go insane or something, but they could draw and it doesn't specify, can you assume? Um, uh, so good question. One of the reasons why you won't be getting this ethics, you won't be getting this FRQ. Like if you look at this, like I had five. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had one for every class or four or whatever. I kind of like changed it up for everything, for every class. The problem is that I ran into that issue is some students were like, well, it never specified this thing. And so that's what I thought was the problem. So that's why I changed it up this year. It When you read the prompt this year, it should if you know the guidelines, it will slap you in the face. You'll be like, that is that like it will say it in there that that's what's missing. So just know the 5 prompts and it'll slap you in the face. You won't need to be, and there will be one ethical issue that like boom, like knocks you out, and you should be like, okay, I'm going for this. So this is why you won't this is why you won't have um, this example tomorrow. Yep. Yep. You need to know all the research methods. Anything that we've talked about is fair game. You need to know all that stuff. The quiz will have 20 questions. Yeah, like 25 minutes. Yep. Yes. Brian and Gia coming in strong, answering questions for me. You guys are awesome. Yes. Wait, what are we pointing at, Monica? Yeah. Yeah, yes, but most of the time, like that kind of stuff isn't going to cause like you hearing someone. Oh yes. Oh, are you talking about what Cookie Crumble said? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes. That would be very unethical. Like having that as the thing. That would not be cool. So yep. Yeah. Cookie Crumble's example would be a issue of harm. Very likely. Yeah, Abina, don't overthink it. The housing and care one is just like you need to make sure that whenever yeah, I know there's like a lot of like funky terminology and stuff in there, but basically you just need to make sure that the people who are taking care of the animals are know what they're doing, know how to properly take care of the animal. You can't just pull someone off the street and be like, take care of this wild mongoose or whatever. This wild mongoose needs very specific things, and you need to make sure that it's treated properly, that it's taken care of properly. Like you can't like if your wild mongoose dies because the person that's taking care of it doesn't know what it's doing and feeds it like chicken or fry Burger King or something like that, you can't be like, oh well, it's this person's fault. No, the person that's taking care of it needs to know what they're doing. And so feeding it fried food is not cool. So yep. Yeah, I mean they were able to leave before. It's Rom, yes, Rom, but like think back to the Stanford prison experiment. The Stanford prison experiment, there were people that were allowed to leave at any time, but in that experiment, yes, some people left because they have emotional breakdowns. The rest of them still got, they got messed up. Now all of them are fine now, and after like a couple, like if you need to give someone like therapeutic counseling after they've done a study with you, that's you've gone too far. Like you've messed them up too bad. Like that's not, people should be able to walk away from your experiment and maybe be like, oh, that was kind of interesting. Like they don't need to be like staying up at sleep, not being able to sleep. Like you can't be doing that. Yep. Abina is on top of it. Yes. Ravish, Abina's got you. Okay. All right. Last questions. Anything else that you guys need? I'm fielding your last final thoughts. Anything else you guys are looking for? All right. While you figure out what your final questions are, I will show you Teddy. Teddy, do you want to come up and say hello? No? Come on. Come on. He was sort of napping. Come on. Come on. Hello. This is half the reason people get on here, Teddy. Yes, hello. All right, so this is Teddy. He's my dog, and he often will say hello on streams. It's half the reason some people get on here is to see Teddy. So he was napping earlier. And we're gonna go for a bike ride after this, or maybe a run. I don't know, depending on how ambitious I'm feeling. Hello, Teddy. He's had a good day. He's a dog, so hello. Yep. All right. There will be no free answers. Yeah, no problem, Salma. Anytime. Crystal, yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. There's the link. Gia's got it. There it is. I just had to give permission for that. So there's a link for that. Okay. Deanna, what was your question? Yes. Gia's got that link up. So if you can see Gia's thing, so that will be useful to you. Okay, guys. Hey, yeah, I'm glad you liked it, Karis. So once again, hey, if this is like your thing, we'll be doing this before every quiz. If this was kind of a waste of time for you, no worries. No, the dice experiment. Wait, what? No, the dice experiment is not correlational. It's experimental. Yep. No problem, guys. Hey, really appreciate you guys hopping on the stream. Good luck studying. Make sure tonight you don't stay up too late. It's better for you to get a nap, or not a nap. It's better for you to go to bed than to stay up really late. We'll talk about sleep later and how important it is. You done? Okay. All right. So thanks again, guys. Y'all have a great night. Make sure you get some sleep. Don't stay up too late studying too hard. So thanks again for hanging out with us. Y'all have a great night, and we will see you tomorrow.